Hey everyone, welcome to the fitnessfreak.com. This is the first video of my home gym training series, and in this video I'll be training legs. I start each workout with a small circuit of ab exercises and stretching, the reason for which is because it helps in better engaging my core, and I recommend it to each and every one of you too. So this routine consists of 3 to 4 circuits. So each circuit consists of 50 crunches, followed by 30 oblique crunches on each side, followed by 20 lying leg raises, followed by 10 elbows to the opposite knees. And all these four workouts should be performed without any break in between them. Once the first circuit is complete, you will take 40 to 60 seconds of break, after which you will return for the second circuit. This will be These circuits will be performed continuously until 3 circuits or 4 are attained. So as you can see over here, I'm struggling a bit with my crunches since I'm doing too many of them at one go. This is one of the most important requirements for heavy squatting, core strength. So if you haven't heard it already, everyone, core strength is crucial and very critical and often overlooked during heavy deadlifts and squats and even back workouts. So I plan to engage my core early on so that when the time comes, when the weights come, my core will be engaged. So here I'm doing some of my oblique crunches. So these oblique crunches would help me to get a better range of motion with squeezing my obliques. So there are two variations of it. I'm doing 20 repetitions first with my knees down. So I'll just bring my head and elbow all the way up to squeeze my obliques. Once these 20 repetitions are complete, the remaining 10 I would perform with my knees also coming up and connecting with my elbows. So what that'll do is create a better opportunity to squeeze my obliques even further. Another if you notice over here, I am quite intense in this workout because obliques is something that I'm not that good at, so I tend to focus a lot at it. And here I'm performing some classic lying leg raises with my palms tucked under my tailbone. So I bring my head slightly up to engage my upper abs and my core so that when my legs go all the way down, it creates a better stretch in my abdomen. So 20 repetition of this, and once this is done, I'll be performing 10 elbows to the opposite knees. So now I'm performing 10 elbows to the opposite knees with the right side, and after this I'll be doing the same with the left side. So this completes the first circuit. So I will do the remaining 3 circuits and then resume the video. Alright guys, now that the circuits for the ab movements are complete, now it's stretching time. So stretching is a very crucial thing when it comes to fitness and bodybuilding, and it's often overlooked by people who start off. So there are 12 important stretching movements. These help to completely stretch out the upper and the lower body prior to an intense workout. So here I'm doing my first stretching movement, which is a lower back stretch. So I'm completely stretching off my lower back and feeling the stretch in it while breathing in and breathing out. As most of you might be well aware, breathing is a very important step that needs to be done while you're doing your stretches and your workouts. So please don't skip breathing. And here I'm doing some of my Superman stretches. Now what this does is it helps to contract and release the spinal rectus and the glutes. Once that's done, I'm doing some of the good old planks. So it's a classic core strength exercise, guys. So there's no harm putting it into this stretch series. Once I'm done with these planks, I would slightly change it into a prayer stretch. Now, a prayer stretch is wherein I would stretch my shoulders like so, along with my lower back. So, once I do this, I would alternate my prayer stretch into a left hand prayer stretch and then a right hand prayer stretch. Each side would help me stretch out the lat of that respective side. Once I'm done doing that stretch, I go over to perform the bent over vacuums. Now, the bent over vacuums is an overlooked concept by today's bodybuilders, but I consider it to be really important in creating an aesthetic and pleasing physique. Now, what it does is it helps contracting the abs better and hold an impressive vacuum pose. So it may not look like I'm doing much, but then I'm trying to contract my abs and holding it in the vacuum position. Once that is done, I'm doing a bit of kneeling stretches in which I stretch out my quads, my calves, and my lower back as I lean backwards and engage my core. Now that is complete, I'm doing a bit of my lunge stretches. So, lunge stretches is very similar to a lunge workout. So, you get to a lunge position and stretch the feet out. So, over here, I'm stretching my left foot out and putting a lot of pressure on my left hamstring. So, the pressure would be directed towards two places, my left hamstring and my right quadriceps. So I'm also pointing over here that I can feel the stretch on my left hamstring and my right quadriceps. Once that is done, I extend my left leg forward while balancing it on my heel, and I stretch my left quadricep completely. Then I stretch it even forward by leaning a bit more and putting on a bit more pressure on my left quadricep. Once that is done, I completely sit to one side and reach out to my left toe. This movement would help in completely stretching your calves and your glutes. Now once that is complete, I perform the same I perform the same thing in the other side. So I'm stretching again. My hams and my quads, I'm trying to feel that stretch and create that mind muscle connection right now. And over here, I'm beginning to stretch my calves, my quads, and my glutes. Once again, I'm breathing and trying to establish that mind muscle connection and completely stretch out my calves and my glutes. So, once this is done, the next form of stretch would be a bending monk. So, I get up after this and try to loosen myself up a little bit. And now, here we go. This is the bending monk. So, what you're trying to do over here is keep your feet locked and wide and bend over completely while stretching out your elbows and stretching your lower backs. This would also help stretching completely your hamstrings of both your legs. Hold it in this point for as long as you can. So in my case, I would prefer to hold it for like 10 to 15 seconds. I wouldn't want to overdo these things. So I would just want to get a good stretch so that that establishes a good mind muscle connection and I'll be good to go towards my leg day. And now I'm trying to point my toes in the direction of my shoulders in order to form a sitting monk. Now, a sitting monk is a very essential stretch which would help most most novice people in improving their squat form and experienced people in maintaining their squat form. So I like to perform that right before my leg day so that that tells my mind that squats is coming. And once that is done, I do a bit of quad, quad stretching over here. So I'm leaning completely to one side and I'm trying to keep my arms fastened so that all the stretch in the world would go into my quads, and then I'm trying to do the same to the other side. Once this is done, I do a bit of a relaxation movement by keeping my legs straight, bending over, touching my toes, and getting back up. I would do this 5 times while breathing casually so that it would make me feel better and in a better position to continue with the workout. So here's the kicker, guys. All of this was the warm up. So the actual workout comes now. There we go. I got a bit of showboarding going on over there, which is good because that's the reason that we all work out. So yeah. So here I'm trying to demonstrate how to do a calf raise. So this is the first workout in the leg day. So we'll be performing only this one exercise since this is the home gym, and this exercise can be performed with or without weights. So first I'll be showing without weights, which can be very useful for beginners. So with weights or without weights, you should be doing 6 sets of these. Each set has 3 phases and each phase has 10 repetitions. Phase 1 is a calf raise with toes pointing away from each other, and phase 2 is calf raises with toes pointing straight parallel towards each other And this, what I'm doing right now, is phase 3 with toes pointing into each other. So once the three phases are complete in the no weights mode, I go to doing it with weights, which is what I love to do. So I do 6 sets of this. So as I mentioned earlier, first phase, feet facing outward, toes facing outward for 10 repetitions, then toes parallel to each other for 10 repetitions, and finally toes facing towards each other. Now, all these three phases must be performed with a slightly bent knee so that you'll get a really good amount of stretch on your calves. Now, for a little bit about squatting. So, squatting 101, everyone. The first point with performing an effective squat is to have your feet at least at shoulder width. It can be more than the shoulder width, that is your convenience, but it should be at least at shoulder width. The second point is that your knees must bend in the direction that the toes point, else you will result in having an ankle pain in the long run. So, first I perform 10 sets of freehand squats. So, these are my warm up squat session. So, I'm warming up my quads and my glutes by performing these 10 sets of squats. So I'm filming like the first set and the final set of it, so that I wouldn't be like wasting most of your time. So I managed to do like 20 repetitions in the last set. So it's according to your convenience. If you find yourself to be really good in a freehand squat, go for it. Now the reason that I do so much of body weight exercise is that this is a home gym. So, for the intermediate and advanced bodybuilders and trainers, this may be less challenging when compared to the heavy poundages they get to lift in the gym. So, it's necessary for me as an advanced trainer to pre exhaust my legs so that when the weight comes, even if it is even if it is on a normal day the lightest weight there is, on this day right now it will seem like a mountain to lift. So one tip, if you are new to squatting with a barbell, remember to pack your shoulders. Now shoulder packing is something that's quite easy yet often overlooked. What you need to do is keep your shoulders completely flexed towards your back and then put the bar on your back. So it is like keeping yourself extremely stiff. Point two, you must always remember to inhale before you squat. So once the bar is on your back and your shoulders are completely packed, you need to take a deep breath before you squat. Now, this is my weighted squat routine. So I I prefer to shock my muscle during this session, so a bit of shocking the muscles going on, else I wouldn't sweat this bad, so to say. So 10 sets of weighted squats are being performed over here. The first 5 of which were performed with 20 kilos on each side. So that makes it like 40 kilos. 10 repetitions of each set. So as you can see, it's already getting on my nerves. It's getting pretty exhausting for me over here. I'm struggling to continue, but sure enough, after all these years of training, I'm able to push myself. One really good thing with doing squats without a squat rack is that I have this good advantage of whoa. Okay, that's the sweat. Okay, so if you ever decide to squat and if you finish your leg day without at least this much of sweat, then it means that your legs haven't worked enough. Because when your legs work and when your body really burns the fat, that's the result. Sweat is an output of how much of work that you have put, how much of true hard work that you have put in the gym. So, so yes, this is my first 5 sets, and what I'm trying to do over here is pre-exhaust my quads so that when the heavier weight comes, that'll be like really challenging for me. So I like doing these sorts of shoulder presses without a squat rack. So I'm done with 4 sets now. So that leaves me with what 6 more sets to go, and it's really getting hard now. So here's the challenging part. If you notice, I'm taking some time to keep my core stiff. So this is where the core strength comes in. I'm bringing it up and doing a small variation of a snatch press, and then I'm squatting. So believe it or not, if you're new to working out and if you do 10 of just those sorts of presses, like snatching it up and then pressing it up and then putting it back down, if you do just 10 of those, you would be exhausted. So that alone is a workout by itself. So in fact, I'd be doing that mostly on my shoulder days. So this gives me the ability to shock not only my legs but also my shoulders in the meanwhile. Again, bringing it back down, it also helps shocking my shoulders. Set number 5, nearly halfway there, and already I'm beaten up as fuck. Once this set was over, instead of doing another 5 sets, I decided to do 3 sets. Like, instead of doing 5 sets of 10 repetitions each, I decided to do 3 sets of 15 repetitions, where I performed those repetitions with 25 kilos on each side. So that essentially made it a 50 kilo squat. So now this is set number 6. Set 6. So as you can see, those two huge plates at the end of the rod, those are the ones that have been newly added. And there, I'm able to shoulder press that. So this is functional strength right here, guys. So that's the reason that I love working out, because it helps. These sorts of workout, they actually help shock your muscle and make your muscle grow. So my shoulders grow, my quads grow, my hamstrings grow, and I end up becoming the strongest version of myself after each workout. So as you can see, it isn't as easy as it looks. Well, I'd have said some real bad stuff about it if I had to speak about it while doing these workouts. So yeah, as you can see, the facial expressions changing. Now, this is something that even the strongest man in the world wouldn't be able to do with a smile on his face, especially when he's pushing his limits. So this this is overload. This is overload with lots and lots of reps. What I would typically do in the gym would be overload with a lot of weight. So I would do like maybe an escalating form of squat, wherein I would do 10 sets of squats. Each set, the weights would just keep escalating from 10 kilos on each side to like 50 or 60 kilos on each side on the final set. When compared to that, this should be easy for me, but here I am struggling with it because I was able to shock my muscle, which is good. As you can see, I'm already sweating like a pig in this video, and I had to really stop during this repetition in order to like get the sweat off my nose, because it was a little bit of heights of frustration that was going on over there. Now you may ask, why can't you use a towel? But the thing is that I cannot uh, I cannot pause this I cannot pause the set in between in order to go grab a towel. So it's a better thing to do to just finish the workout and then just wipe it off. But I got a bit smarter this time. I think I made a really good adaptation to my workout in the next set, because sweat was just pouring today, which is a good thing because that means that my body didn't see what was gonna come to it. And yeah, I'm feeling it now. So this change is good. So there it is. As I'm pointing it out, I have a bandana now, and you can see the sheer amount of sweat on it. And here I am doing my final set of squats, 15 reps. At this time, this is that point that I talked about early on, guys, in the videos early on about motivation. So this is the point where my body wants to give up, but my mind just says, go, you can do better, you can move better. This is nothing. So my my mind is proving my body wrong. My mind is beating my body left, right, center and making it listen to it. So what you're seeing over here may look like sheer physical strength and brute force, but it's just a lot to do with willpower, guys. Once you master that, these things are a piece of cake. As you see, my body wants to give up over here, but my mind says no, push, two more reps, two more reps. You use every single inch of rage that you have in order to just complete each and every overtaxing workout. And there I am. I finished it. And that concludes this leg workout, guys. So that's it for this training video, guys. Do comment and let me know what you think. Hit thumbs up if you like what you saw. And don't forget to subscribe for more training videos that are yet to come.